The Dutch government just promised to return any stolen colonial-era objects in its collections back to their countries of origin.
Here's a summary of the article.
Because of the imbalance of power during the colonial era, cultural objects were effectively often stolen, according to a recent statement by the Dutch government. If it can be established that an object was indeed stolen from a former Dutch colony, it will be returned unconditionally. Cultural heritage objects that were stolen from a former colony of another country, or which are of particular cultural, historic, or religious significance to a country, may also be eligible for return. The colonial past is a subject that still personally affects many people every day. This is why we must treat colonial collections with great sensitivity, Ingrid van Engelshoven, the nation's Minister of Education, Culture, and Science, said in a statement. The Dutch ministry intends to work with officials in Indonesia, Suriname, and Dutch territories in the Caribbean to research colonial collections and identify looted artifacts. The Dutch had colonial missions in Asia, Africa, and North and South America, sometimes for hundreds of years, dating back to the beginning of the 17th century. The museum, which estimates 40% of the 450,000 pieces in its collection originated in Dutch colonies, established its own guidelines for colonial restitution in March 2019. In December, it announced a 4-year €4.5 million research project into museum collections amassed during the colonial era.
This post received a score of 10,000, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Probably still won't give Napoleon's guns back to the French though lol.
There's at least 2 loopholes that they can use for those. The first is whether or not they were stolen. By modern standards, maybe, but historically, international customary law permitted the taking of prizes and spoils in wartime. The second is this new undertaking only automatically applies to artifacts from former Dutch colonies, which would exclude France. Edit smiley face. Maybe France can, somewhat artificially, claim they are a former Dutch colony. Between 1689 and 1702, William of Orange was styled as King of England, Scotland, France and Ireland.
I wasn't saying they'd be considered under this proposal, but I thought I'd link a humorous case of taken good between these countries. The anecdote told to me in Amsterdam was that France submits a request for the Dutch to return the pistols, and has had 200+ such annual requests denied.
I wonder if France ever slips in a request to not return the guns, to see how carefully they read them.
While I generally approve this move, I'm also slightly worried that some of the repatriated cultural artifact will promptly disappear under mysterious circumstances, while high-ranking members of the local government will get equally mysterious donations from private individuals.
Many of the countries do have their own academics and universities. Most of those who run museums are from there. Like in Iraq, they're pretty passionate about saving their history, so hopefully will be very active in not losing these again.
In case of Iraq, not even full decade ago it was partially occupied by terrorist group which was very passionate about destroying said history.
They mostly sold it to dealers in the West.
Well, they couldn't sell 20-meter-high mountain carving, so they bombed the shit out of it. Wasn't that particular case done by the Taliban? Unless there's an Iraqi 20-meter-high mountain carving that I don't know about. Oh shit, NVM, you are right. I think they destroyed some smaller statues though. They absolutely did. At the time they released several videos of themselves blowing up ancient Assyrian cities full iconic frescoes and winged guardian bulls, and smashing up the contents of Iraq's archaeological museums, all set to their ridiculous chanting.
That's great. I'd like to think the UK would do that, but then our museums would be empty.
Insert Homer disappearing into the hedge gif, but it's really the UK.
Why do people draw the line at the colonial era? Clearly nobody is thinking about repatriating stuff the Vikings or Romans or Mongols looted. But somehow items that were taken during colonial times are a hot topic?
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.